Welcome to the Simply Authentic podcast with Angie and Tanya, where we hope to inspire you to dream big and push past your fear, empower you to take charge of your own life, and challenge you to be the most authentic self you can be. Welcome back to the Simply Authentic podcast. I'm Angie Mullings.
And I'm Tanya Murfin.
And today's episode is another in the neighborhood.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Bentonville, Arkansas this time.
Yeah, we managed to get away and on our corporate retreat.
We did. We went on a corporate retreat. We did some planning. So we have big plans for our future, and we needed to sit down and just take the time to leave everything else behind, shut our phones off, and talk about what we're planning and our guests that we'll be planning coming up and so forth. So
yeah, and we wanted some place that would so we could get out of town,
yes,
but close enough that we weren't spending all day on the road.
Exactly.
And Bentonville was the perfect choice.
It was, and I've said this before to you, Angie, but I had never been to Bentonville before. I have a friend that lives in Rogers, and so over the years, as an adult, I've been down there numerous times, but never have been to Bentonville. So you had been there before many times.
Yeah, and I know most people don't even differentiate between Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, and Fayetteville. That's, if you were driving down 71, that's the order those towns would be in. But they all kind of merge together, so sometimes you don't even realize. But each of them has a downtown area.
Yeah.
And that's where we were at. We were in downtown Bentonville, and very cool little small town feel, but they have lots of restaurants and lots of shops, and we're going to tell you about a few today.
Yeah. And the drive down there, so we took the drive through Aurora, Monette, Cassville, and I've always loved that drive going to Rogers.
Yeah.
It's pretty, and we went over a really nice weekend. We couldn't have gotten luckier with the weather. Right. So I think the drive, you're there in an hour and 45 about.
Yes.
And so it doesn't feel like that long.
Right.
So anyway, so when we arrived, we first walked around a little bit, just to kind of acquaint ourselves with the square. And then we started at Onyx Coffee Lab.
Yeah.
And very lively joint.
Yes, very busy. It was a Friday, but it wasn't in the afternoon. It was a Friday mid-morning.
Mid-morning, yeah.
When we got down there. So we were really kind of surprised at how busy it was.
Yeah, really surprised. And I love to see how they still had their outdoor area open, and it being really pretty weather. It was really windy that morning, but all the tables outside were completely full.
Yes.
And it would have been hard. We ended up just taking our coffee and going, but it would have been hard to find a seat inside or out. It was that busy. And it's a good sized restaurant.
Right.
Or coffee shop.
Exactly. So you got some kind of coffee, and I ordered tea. I thought that's what I ordered, but I got something called sport tea. I don't know what that was.
You have not
Googled
that yet?
I have not. That's what I should have done. I should have Googled sport tea.
What is a sport
Onyx
tea?
Coffee Lab. But it had a little bit of sweetness to it, which I'm straight tea, no sugar. So it was a little bit different. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't exactly what I was expecting.
Yeah. You survived, though.
I did.
You got another tea later. So
I did. So it was all good.
So then we went and had lunch a little bit after that. We did some more walking around. And again, beautiful weather. The leaves were changing. We took a little stroll down some of the side streets right off of the square to kind of see some of the new housing, the new construction that's going on. Lots of construction around Bentonville. Everywhere.
Yeah.
But then one thing that I want to point out that you and I both discussed was there were a ton of new craftsman style. Most of them had some sort of craftsman to them. homes all around the square and on these side streets we walked on.
Right. So probably either remodels or they tore down the structure, because we're talking close to downtown. So these weren't new subdivisions.
No.
These were just new constructions or renovated.
Right.
It's hard to know which, but beautiful homes in a beautiful area. And the other thing that's cool about that entire region, Northwest Arkansas, is all the hiking and biking trails.
Yes.
There were cyclists all over, and there are trails for that, even down into their downtown area. So it's a great place to just get out and go for a little walk, and you're going to see lots of other people out strolling and riding bikes and that kind of thing.
For sure.
So very conducive to that.
So then we did go have lunch at Table Mesa, right on the square.
Yep.
I had some fish tacos that were very, very good.
And I had a lovely salad.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
And another tea.
And another tea. That's right.
That was still a little weaker than Angie likes.
It was. I eventually found good tea, but
you did, yes.
But it was great because we were there on a retreat, so took our paperwork in. We had stuff strewn all over the place, and we were working and having lunch, and it was just a really relaxing atmosphere and good food.
Yeah. Yep. So we did a little more walking after that, exploring, and then we went to the press room for a glass of wine and some creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
Gluten-free.
Gluten-free, yes.
Yeah. We enjoyed that and did a little more planning.
Yeah.
For a couple of hours. And then we were able to go to our Airbnb.
Right. We couldn't check in till 3, so we were just kind of hanging out and working in places we could, and then got to check in. Our Airbnb was, what was it? Was it maybe 2 blocks?
Maybe.
Not quite, but yeah. Very close. Cute little house, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, but plenty of room. Had a garage in the back. Right next to, again, some new construction and across from a school.
Yep.
But it was a great place for us to hang out and be that close within walking distance to all the amenities.
And it was very affordable. You could just stay one night.
Yes.
Which I know a lot of Airbnbs, it's a 2-night minimum. So that was, helped with the affordability of it.
Right.
Of us not having to stay 2 nights, just stay one. So it was super cute, great location.
Right.
I was really pleased.
Yeah, because as far as I could find when I was researching, there's only one hotel in the area. If you want to be able to walk to all these things, really an Airbnb is your best option. There is one hotel. We did cruise through there just to see what it looked like, and they were having an event there, but they have a restaurant inside. And so anyway, that was the only option. So, if you're looking for other opportunities, I would say Airbnb is your best bet.
Yeah, agree with that. And plus, it's such a quaint area. The Airbnb kind of adds to the experience.
It does.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we worked for several hours at the Airbnb. And when it was dinner time, we had made a reservation at Tuscan Trotter.
Yeah.
Tell me about your steak, Angie.
Well, they only had one option for a steak, and I am a filet girl.
Yeah.
But the only one they had was a
New York strip.
New York strip. I knew it was a strip. I started to say Kansas City strip, and I knew that was all right.
Yeah.
New York strip. And it was good. The flavor was good. It's just not what I'm used to.
Right. Yeah. And I had the same.
Yeah.
So I'm not calling you out on your New York strip. I'm a filet person as well. And I almost got the short rib, but she made it sound like I would have it all over me. So I opted for not.
Right.
And we're filet girls. We've just decided next time we're going to go another route and not get the strip.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere was great.
Yes.
We had a great bottle of wine.
Yes.
The dessert was to die for.
It was. I don't remember what it was called.
Me neither. It was,
but it was award winning. She told us about it. It was award winning.
She did.
And it was delightful.
Yeah, it was amazing. So that was a good end to the night. And then we walked there and then we were able to walk back.
Yeah.
So on the way back, we realized that a couple of suggestions that we had gotten from some people from our Facebook page, one being Kate, was that we should stop at the Preacher's Son, and which was a little church on the corner. and they apparently have a speakeasy downstairs, which we missed that
Yes.
tip.
Yeah.
But they have a rooftop bar, and it was closed that night.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we were going to have a nightcap and end the night on that, and instead, we went back to the ABB. So
Yeah. But they also have a restaurant there. So I guess in the basement it's a speakeasy. Then they have the restaurant, and then they have the rooftop bar. So anyway, for anybody who's venturing down there, you know, there is a restaurant there. I've heard it's very good. So.
Yeah. And then one of the other recommendations was Bluefish, and we passed that.
Yes.
And we had wished we had read our comments earlier than sitting at dinner, because that was a comment from Vanessa Howe, one of our friends who's been on the podcast. And I would have loved to have went in there. It just looked like a little hole-in-the-wall cafe.
Eclectic. Yeah.
Very eclectic. And to me, it looked like it came out of the Back to Future movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes,
Looking
I
through
can.
the windows, kind of Back to the
It
Future.
had that look. Yes.
Yeah, it did. So that was another recommendation. So if you're down there and you're into seafood, apparently they fly it in daily or weekly. And
Yeah.
So next time,
We'll
we'll go to both of those.
Yeah.
So what did we do the next morning, Angie?
Well, we had to go to the Buttered Biscuit.
And why did we have to go there?
It is one of my favorites, and I always have to go there if I'm down there for breakfast, because as a gluten-free girl, there's not a lot of places you can go and get something like pancakes or biscuits or something like that that's gluten-free.
Right.
Usually when I go out for breakfast, I have to get an omelet or eggs and bacon or something like that.
Right.
But they have the most delectable lemon blueberry pancakes that comes with lemon curd and real blueberries and whipped cream, and it is to die for.
Yeah. And I did taste it, and I agree with her.
Yeah.
It is really one of the best breakfast meals that you could probably buy on the sweet side of things. So,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't taste like cardboard like sometimes gluten-free does.
Right.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And I had never even heard of a buttered biscuit. You know, not in general terms, but the restaurant. So I enjoyed my breakfast as well, and it was great, and I will go back there again.
Yeah.
For
Great.
sure.
And they have, I think it's 3 locations. We went to the one closest to Bentonville. They also have one in Rogers and I think Springdale, but they do have 3 different locations. So just for you guys out there, if you're a little further south in Northwest Arkansas, you can find a buttered biscuit near you.
Yes. Indeed, you can.
Yes.
So then we put our tennis shoes on and we went for a hike around Crystal Bridges. So I had never been there before.
Yeah.
And I think what we did was the listening tour.
Right.
Although we didn't listen, we just headed out the door and walked.
Yeah. And I can imagine this being really cool at night because there were lots of lights. It's about light and sound. And we did see some cool, and we'll be posting these pictures, but we saw some cool art along the trail that we walked. But a lot of it had to do with light and sound, and you can have a guided tour. We didn't go in and sign up for that and have somebody in our ear telling us what everything was. We really just wanted to get out and enjoy that beautiful morning and clear our heads because we'd worked really hard.
We had. Yeah. Yes, we had talked a lot.
Yes.
So little stroll through beautiful walkways, and it was just...
And that place is amazing. They keep adding on. I hadn't been down there for probably, I'm going to say 6 or 7 years, and there's different buildings now, and they just keep adding and keep adding.
Tons of
and
construction.
I mean, you're 5 minutes from downtown Bentonville, so it's so close.
Oh, yeah.
If you go down to Bentonville, I would highly recommend that you go and check out Crystal Bridges.
Absolutely. Literally 5 minutes away from downtown Bentonville.
And right now, their main artist is Annie Leibovitz. So, and they always have somebody that they're highlighting. So,
next time I want to go in the museum.
Yeah.
We just didn't have time for that.
Right.
Because
we had to do a little shopping.
We had to go
because
shopping.
with a little work, there must be a little play.
Yes.
So they have some cute little boutiques around the square, and we went to 2 or 3 of those, Blue Moon and Rebel. So we got to do a little shopping around the square and give some local business, some of our business.
We did. Yes, we sure did.
Yeah.
And then we decided we weren't done shopping.
Right.
So we got in the car and went what seemed like just around the corner to Rogers.
Right.
And I didn't realize, I had in my mind that I think the distance between Fayetteville and Rogers is a little further.
Right.
I didn't realize Rogers was so close to Bentonville,
Right.
and maybe 8 minutes. Maybe
Yeah,
it was 8 minutes down the
maybe.
road. But anyway,
Yeah.
we went to the Pinnacle Mall there.
Yeah.
And did some more walking around.
Right.
Got our steps in.
Yeah. And while they do have some larger department stores like Dillard's and some of your staples like White House Black Market and a Chico's and Athleta, you know, those kinds of things. They
Right.
also have some little boutiques. Trinkets down by Dillard's is one of my favorites that I wanted to pop in. And yeah, again, nice outdoor mall. So it's, and they have some great restaurants there as well.
Yeah, yeah. And there's lots to do in Rogers. One of the reasons that I go down there not only to see my friend Angie, but to go to concerts because
Yeah.
they have a great amphitheater, outdoor amphitheater there that Walmart has, and
Yeah.
it's great place to go to a concert.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, well, Angie, does that wrap up our Bentonville
I
experience?
think it does.
I think it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So, and I hear from Kate that it's beautiful around the holidays.
Yes.
And that there are, you know, lots and lots of lights. In fact, they had put a lot of them out, but they weren't lit up yet when we were down
We
there.
thought we were going to get to enjoy some lights because we could tell that they had the entire little middle section of the square decorated. Their Christmas tree was up and all of that, but the lights weren't on yet.
They were not.
So we didn't get to
So,
enjoy that.
if you want a quick little trip out of town for the holidays, see some lights, do some shopping, eat some food, go to Bentonville.
That's
It
our
was a
recommendation.
Great experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, we want to thank Jordan and Kate and Gershman Mortgage for the studio experience we get, and we will catch you guys next time.
See ya. Thanks for listening to the Simply Authentic podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Be sure to listen to us on your favorite podcasting app.